Okay, this is the Ripped Landscape project. It's an easy way to teach about landscape and also have you sort of put your toes in the water as far as mixed media if you're not familiar with it. Okay, we're going to be working with paper, and I recommend a decent heavyweight watercolor paper, all right, of some kind. You can still use your acrylics, you just thin them down or thicken them up depending. Okay. Um, You need to also think about what type of landscape, I've got that in quotes, you want to do. It can be naturalistic, it can be outer space, it can be a made-up planet, it could be a lot of different things. It could be a cityscape, okay? Night, day, storm, not, whatever, all right? Basically, you're going to take your paper and you're going to paint several different sheets, lots of different colors on them, just sort of randomly, big areas of color. And then you're going to rip up that paper and working from the sky, the background to foreground, you're going to be layering those papers one on top of the other, as you can see in these two pieces here, to create your landscape. And you can adjust and move the pieces around, rip new places, put in new colors, change the different color combinations as you want to, okay? Part of this is the randomness. It's part of the fun of this project, and the fact that you can create different techniques and use different collage elements in the project. On this one on the right, that one piece that's got sort of that sparkly kind of rough look to it, that blue-green piece, that's actually watercolor with salt sprinkled on it while it's still somewhat wet, and it creates that sort of crystallization sort of effect. This student here on the left decided to use some decorative papers and things like that as part of their edging element. Okay, notice how on the right, how different the way the paper is ripped creates sort of a rhythm and movement in the piece. I'm going to be looking for that. Okay, I definitely am also going to be looking for the conveyance of space of some amount. Doesn't have to be hugely deep. We need some kind of conveyance of space, depth in the painting. Someone here used gauze as well as the ripped paper, and they've actually painted up to the paper edge. That is acceptable, but I do need to notice that you are using the ripped edge with a certain, what do you call it, diligence, or I want you to pay attention to it. Okay, I don't want you to just pretend like you've forgotten about there's a ripped edge there. All right. Always kind of lay out everything first before you start gluing it down permanently. Okay, be sure you're happy with it. Different ones, different types, different color combinations. This one here on the right's got the salt again in the watercolor. They've also gone back in and added some grassy elements near the bottom edge. That's fine. Here's a more abstract one on the left. There is still a feeling of space there. It's flatter than some of the others, but it's still there, okay? And there is a sort of a nice rhythm, especially in the sky on that one in the red with the red sky. Notice how rhythm is playing in the wave pattern on the right. I'm going to be looking for that. They use the splatter technique to create the sky effect. What you do is you paint your background color, your darker colors, or whatever you want, and you use a brush or you use a paintbrush, use a toothbrush actually, and fill it with paint and spray it and shake it, or literally sort of run your finger over the top of the toothbrush while it's wet and splatters on there. Okay. Here are examples of rhythm, so you understand what rhythm versus pattern is. Okay. Rhythm is something where it's sort of subtle. You follow the way that artichoke is opening on the right, because that line sort of looks like it's opening up, and we follow it along around those artichoke leaf edges. All right, that's rhythm.